Fear not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God. I will strengthen thee, yea, I will help thee, yea, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness. Isaiah 41:10. Fear can make us feel small, but God says, don't be afraid, I am with you. Let's take a look at the story of Gideon, a man who learned to trust God, even when he felt very scared. The Israelites were in big trouble. For 7 years, a group of people called the Midianites had been attacking them. The Midianites were like bullies. They didn't live in Israel, but they would wait until the Israelites had worked hard to plant their crops and take care of their animals. Then, when the crops were ready to harvest, the Midianites would swoop in, steal all the food, and leave the Israelites with nothing to eat. They even took their sheep, cows, and donkeys. Because of this, the Israelites were very poor and very scared. Some of them hid in caves and mountains to stay safe. One of these scared people was a man named Gideon. Gideon was hiding in a cave to prepare some food. He was using a large flat stone to grind grain into flour. He didn't want the Midianites to see him because they might steal what little he had. Gideon felt small and helpless, and he didn't think he could do anything to stop the Midianites. But God had a different plan for Gideon. As Gideon worked, an angel of the Lord appeared under a tree nearby. Gideon didn't realize it was an angel at first.
The Lord is with you, mighty warrior.
Gideon was startled. He looked around, wondering who the angel was talking to. Mighty warrior? Wasn't he just hiding in fear?
Mighty warrior, me. If the Lord is with us, why has all this happened? Where are the miracles we heard about from our ancestors? The Lord has abandoned us and let the Midianites take over.
Go in the strength you have and save Israel from the Midianites. Am I not sending you?
But Gideon didn't feel strong. He felt small and unimportant.
How can I save Israel? My family is the weakest in the whole tribe, and I am the least important in my family.
I will be with you, and you will strike down the Midianites as if they were only one man.
Even with God's promise, Gideon was still afraid. He wanted to be sure this was really God speaking to him. So, he prepared an offering of meat and bread and placed it on a rock. The angel touched the offering with the tip of his staff, and fire shot up from the rock, completely burning it up. Gideon realized that this wasn't just any visitor, this was truly a message from God. Gideon was amazed and humbled. God had chosen him to save Israel. Finally, Gideon decided to take the first step of obedience. With God's help, he rallied 32,000 men to join him in the fight against the Midianites. Gideon must have felt proud to see so many warriors ready for battle. But then, God gave him an unusual instruction.
You have too many men. If you win with this many soldiers, Israel will think they did it on their own. Tell anyone who's afraid to go home.
That day, 22,000 men left, leaving only 10,000 behind. Gideon's army was much smaller now, but God wasn't finished.
There are still too many men. Take them to the water, and I will choose who stays.
Gideon watched as the men drank from a stream. God told him to keep only the 300 men who drank by bringing water to their mouths with their hands. With just 300 men, Gideon prepared to face the massive Midianite army. It must have seemed impossible, but Gideon chose to trust God. Late at night, Gideon and his 300 men surrounded the Midianite camp. They carried torches hidden inside clay jars and trumpets in their hands. Gideon gave the signal, and the men broke their jars, revealing the torches. They blew their trumpets and shouted,
For the Lord and for Gideon.
The Midianites woke up in a panic. They thought they were being attacked by a huge army. In their confusion, they ran away. God gave Gideon and his 300 men an incredible victory without even lifting a sword. Gideon had trusted God, and God kept his promise. Gideon's story teaches us that fear can hold us back, but faith helps us move forward. The Bible is full of times when God tells his people, "Fear not, Some people say there are 365 times God says fear not in the Bible. That's one fear not for every single day of the year. Why do you think God says it so much? It's because He knows there are a lot of things in life that can make us feel afraid. But here's the best part. Every time God tells someone not to be afraid, He reminds them why they don't need to fear. He says, "Because I am with you." Think about it. When you're walking through a dark room, doesn't it feel so much better when someone you trust holds your hand? That's what God is saying. He's saying, "I'm holding your hand. I'm here to help you. I'll give you strength. You don't need to be afraid because I'm bigger than anything scary." When God's people, the Israelites, had big challenges like crossing the Red Sea, fighting giants, or walking into the Promised Land, God always said, "Fear not, I am with you." Yes, there are lots of reasons to feel afraid, but God is bigger than all of them. When you choose to trust Him, it's like you're saying, "God is stronger than my fear, so I choose faith instead." Gideon was scared and didn't feel strong enough to fight the Midianites, but when he chose to trust God, he saw that God's strength is greater than fear. What about you? Is there something you're afraid to do? Maybe it's speaking up in class, trying something new, or trusting God with a big decision. Remember, God says, "Fear not, for I am with you." When you choose faith, amazing things can happen. Say this with me. Because God is with me, I choose faith and say no to fear in every part of my life.
Because God is with me, I choose faith and say no to fear in every part of my life.
I will not let fear stop me. I am full of faith and I am full of power.
I will not let fear stop me. I am full of faith and I am full of power.
My life shows God's goodness and His blessings. I will not fear because God is with me.
My life shows God's goodness and His blessings. I will not fear because God is with me.
I choose faith and trust His promises. Glory to God.
I choose faith and trust His promises. Glory to God.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more Bible stories and lessons. See you next time.